Hello all you wonderful Rise of Kingdoms players, this is Dragothien here, and today we're going to be doing another rock video. Now what we're going to be doing today is Archer Civilizations. Which one are we going to pick? What do you want to be doing in the game? Which Archer Civilization should you be using? That's kind of what we're going to be going into today. Archer is one of the most clear-cut but also universal civilizations in this game. So I want you guys to pay close attention. We're going to go from left to right and go through what this is going to look like. And then you will have the ability to, at this point, choose which Archer civilization is going to be right for you. If you're an Archer player, or maybe even if you're not, you still might want to go ahead and grab an Archer civilization to use. So let's go ahead and get started really quick. So first off, we've got Britain. All right, so Britain is a great starting civilization, but also one of the better Archer civilizations. Now, it does have a very specific use. So, first off, Longbowmen have the highest attack in the game from an Archer perspective, and as we all know, some way, shape, or form inside the Formula 4 damage, attack does play fairly heavily in the numbers that you're going to be seeing from a white number standpoint above your enemy. Now, also, there is another portion of that. Now, how significant, we all don't know just yet, but it plays into the skill damage piece of archers as well, and as you all know, archer commanders do tend to be very heavily reliant on skill damage. So with that being said, Britain, right? So when should you be Britain if you're an archer civilization? Well, I think this is a good growth civilization to be when you're an archer commander, because not only do you have one of the better archer units in the game, but you also have 5% troop training speed, which in all reality is very, very, very valuable, especially if you're in growth mode, or even if you're in the end game, you're not really needing to add some extra skill damage, which I think would be a little bit of a mistake if you're a fighter. But you also are in between KVKs, for instance, and you need to have some troop training, but you still want to have very powerful units for your archer commanders. Britain might be the way to go. I think I would label Britain as the growth commanders or the growth players archer civilization. That's how I would kind of label this. This is the archery variant of Germany, for instance. You get garrison capacity, which isn't all that great, especially endgame. You should not be garrisoning somebody else's city. Maybe another flag or a pass, but again, this does not apply to that situation. Archer attack, 5% is always very good, and again, the longbowmen themselves are very, very good, but really, you're going to be using this for troop training speed if you're an archer commander. That's really the way you want to do it. Extended period of time, that's how I would do it. Let's go over to China. China is one of the better starting civilizations as well. In fact, this is the one that I picked when I started over fresh in Kingdom 916. It got me Sun Tzu for one, which is one of the better starting commanders in the game to get. But two, it gives you building speed 5% increase and action point recovery 5% increase. That's a huge deal. And a change that had been made from the beginning of the game. Action point recovery, I don't believe, was part of China's skill set whenever this game came out. However, adjustments were made. Now you've got the Chuko Nu special unit alongside of China with 5% action point recovery and 5% building speed. At the beginning of the game, that is amazing. So again, for archery civilization where you want to start off from the ground up from day one, China is your selection, folks. You do not want to start with necessarily Britain just because you get Boudica. I would much rather get Sun Tzu maxed out a lot quicker and have the added benefits of having action point recovery and building speed increases. Also, a universal troop defense boost by 3% is nothing to sneeze at. And again, having mixed troops at the beginning of the game, all three of these things work very well and in synergy to make China, in my opinion, the best starting civilization in the game. So this is what I would do. China, to start off with, if you're starting the game out, China is the best archery civilization for you. Korea. This is kind of a middling in between civilization in my opinion as well. Not only do you get a 5% archer defense bonus, which is not bad at all, and you have a hospital capacity bonus of 15%. That's always great when fighting. The research speed, right? You come here for the research speed. No other civilization in the game has it. Just like the building speed from China, no other civilization has that either. 3% research speed bonus, and some of these researches can take 110 days with full buffs to research. This is not a bad civilization to have, again, in growth mode. So if you're in tech growth mode, Korea is the place to be. If you're in troop growth mode, Britain is the place to be. But don't just keep swapping back and forth because it's kind of expensive. You can see right here, 10,000 gems to switch between civilizations. Me personally, I would go ahead and just, if you're going to have something parked for a long period of time, I would go ahead and just do Korea for long-term research growth, and I would do Britain for long-term troop growth. And again, for China, I would do China for long-term just starter growth. When it comes to the buildings, you want to upgrade your troop training buildings, you want to upgrade your hospitals, you want to upgrade all those different things that take quite a while to go ahead and power up. That's how I would do it. So China, then Korea if you want to go straight into research, or China, then Britain if you want to go straight into mass troop training. Now, what about when you're ready to fight? What about when you're ready to really go after it and fight on the battlefield? What's the best archer commander, archer civilization in the game? What's going to support you the most? I think we all know which one's coming, and that's the Ottoman civilization, the Ottoman Empire. You get the special unit Janissaries, which also have inherently higher health than all the other special units in the game for archers. You also get an archer health bonus from the civilization as well. Troop march speed, which is invaluable on the battlefield. And the biggie, right? The real biggie, active skill damage increased by 5%. That is going to be your number one. Gotta have, if you're a fighting civilization, if you're a fighting player, you've already got your research done, you've already got your building done, you've already got the majority of your troop training done. Of course, nobody's ever done with troop training, but especially if you're already done with research and you're already done with your building, you're ready to fight, you're ready to rock and roll, or you're still doing all those things, but you are going to be a frontline fighter. You need to have the maximum benefits of a civilization pointing you in the right direction to victory. Ottoman Empire is the way to go. In my opinion, Ottoman Empire is one of the most versatile civilizations in the game, because not only does it have a really solid unit for archers, but it's got troop march speed, which is universal, and more importantly, active skill damage is universal. There's active skill damage across every troop type commander in the game. You've got Sun Tzu, you've got Guan Yu for infantry, you've got, of course, for archers, you've got YSG, Ramses, you've got Artemisia. I mean, you've got so many archer commanders. In fact, almost all of them have some form of skill damage. And then, of course, with cavalry, Genghis, Saladin, Minna, Double C. The list goes on and on and on and on. This is one of the most used civilizations in the game just because of how good it is for troop march speed and for the active skill damage, because it applies to all skill damage when it comes to any commander type that you're using in the game. So same thing with the troops. It's a universal one. People love this one. This is the one to go for if you are going to be fighting. So just to quickly recap, I want to go all the way to the beginning really quick. Britain, if you're training troops and you're an archer commander, this is the way to go. If you are just starting out in the game, China is the way to go because you get the action point recovery and the building speed boost. If you are kind of in the middle of the game again and you are wanting to do heavy research, you're wanting to go ahead and get those last 3 or 4 points in the combat tactics line, in the defensive formation line, in the encampment line, in the combined arms line, all that stuff, right? You want to go with Korea because, especially if you're going to be long term, that will save you days and days and days and days and weeks and weeks and weeks of speed ups, which is always critical when you're talking about maxing out your tech and getting those juicy T5s. And then finally, endgame, fighter, civilization, fighting player. I want to have the best of everything to be able to be maximized on the battlefield. Ottoman is your selection, folks. I really, really recommend Ottoman for really any combination of troop type commanders, anything. You can be full infantry commander and still go Ottoman because of how good it is for Guan Yu and Alex and Sun Tzu and the like. If you're Cav, this is one of the best commanders or best civilizations in the game as well, because of, again, the skill damage that they provide and the troop march speed. And again, Janissaries aren't half bad either. They're really good. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and hopefully it's given you a good explanation on which archer civilization you should choose when you're playing Rise of Kingdoms. I hope you've enjoyed. I will see you guys next time. Cheers. Take care.